What's up, everybody? It's Vicious here, and today I want to talk a little bit about Mecha Break and balancing and what I think needs to happen with the balance in this game. So, in case you missed it, I am primarily a Panther player. Panther player. It's the mech that I play with the most, and there's some things I would like to say about it in terms of balancing, but this is mainly a video that's going to be focused talking about like the top strongest mechs in my opinion. Aleseness. Let us talk about Aleseness. So Aleseness is cheating. Look at this. Armor B, solo combat B, which is debatable. I would say that solo combat for this character is A, seeing as it has a lot of damage and a lot of hits done. Handling A. There's no arguing there. Air combat, maybe not the best because mechs like this, they have to sort of like fly around and like wiggle a bit. They're not like the specific flying mechs. So like, okay, I get it. Team combat, whatever, sure, all right. D. Support, of course, is going to be E. This is a medium attacker. So in comparison to like my mech, right? Panther. So Panther is a medium brawler. What does this mean? I have no idea, because this Panther, the name implies that you could take Panther out and like fight several mechs at the same time and like maintain some sort of like consistency in combat. You know what I mean? But that's not it at all. Panther is more so like a surprise assassin now, and I don't really like that direction for Panther because, you know, it feels like the tools kind of say something different about it. But let's talk about Aleseness. Let's look at the weaponry here. So Aleseness has his energy autocannon, but like the energy autocannon is more of a nuisance for melee characters, right? Like this is a nuisance for Stellaris. This is a nuisance for Panther. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, it's just something that I have to block. You know, they charge it up and like more shots come out, yada yada yada, blase blah. All right. And if we go to the battle halberd, this is like the actual most annoying thing, right? Because there's nothing about this halberd that, you know, is weaker than the weapons that the other melee specific characters have, right? As a matter of fact, I believe that it has more hits done than the shield blade from the Panther and Stellaris. Like, I feel like you can get like quite a few hits off on this, and quite beefy damage too. Hold on a second. 10,000, 12,000, 8,000, 11,000. So basically that's the damage, right? 10, 12, 8, 11. Let me see if I'm wrong here, because I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong, because I've never seen the damage before. Let's look at the shield blade. Five, 6, 7, 7. So I get that this is like a smaller weapon and it's like a secondary weapon. This is not the main weapon of Panther, but again, I am a medium brawler and that is a medium attacker, and that makes no sense to me. Like, you have a stronger weapon, why would I even use this? Like, I might as well just run around with the lance, right? And even if I were to say, well, you know, maybe that's just Panther. Let's go to Stellaris. Alright, basic Warblade. So the basic Warblade does less damage than what the Aleseness has. And Aleseness is a medium attacker. This is a light brawler, right? So I guess brawler is like their code word for like assassin, because these two are like meant to basically just go in and get kills when they can. You know what I mean? They're meant to finish enemies off with like a little bit of damage. And honestly, they need to beef up the damage for both of them, if you ask me. I think Panther booster packs need to be like better. Like, for the armor that I have and like some of the characters I had to go up against, like I know that I keep going back to my main, but it's just because they're both medium, right? This is a medium brawler. This is a medium attacker. So this medium attacker, if we go back to the weaponry, has a complex shield as well that seems to be out more, and I think has more capacity than the Panther. So that was 30,000, right? That was the capacity for the shield. Okay, so let's take a look at the capacity for the shield of Panther. 37,500. And what was the least one more time? Whoops. 37,500. Let's go to weaponry. 40,000. So it's a little bit stronger. Why? You know, like we're supposed to be going through like the same. We're like the same build type. We're both medium. We just have different roles. Like you're an attacker, okay, that tells me that you get damaged, but I'm a brawler, and that tells me that I'm supposed to be killing everything out here. I'm supposed to be fighting everything and surviving it, but you're already more survivable. Let's take a look at the airdrop kit. So what does this do? Once you lose all your HP, you get to transform into a lighter model with a full health bar, and every so often 180 cooldown. You get to go ahead and just get your shield back. You get like this what is that? Like you get like a shield on top of like your armor. It's really annoying, and this is why it's so hard to fight Aleseness. Is Aleseness really squishy in this form? Yes, but you'll never kill it. There's scenarios where you have to fight Aleseness and break its armor twice in some scenarios, and I think that that's just absolutely ridiculous. Like this character needs to be nerfed, and honestly it shouldn't have that shield when it does the airdrop. That's too much. Like, so not only do I have to fight you 3 times, you know, I have to fight you 3 times when you have extra defense. I think that that should not be a thing, and I think that there should be a cooldown in place already. Like you shouldn't automatically get this drop down, this airdrop shit, when you lose your first life. There should be like a cooldown of like 60 seconds before you're able to like get this airdrop. You know, like that's insane. That's why Aleseness is so strong. I looked on the leaderboards the other day. Aleseness was #1. And I can see why. It's not a bad mech. And I don't think any of the changes I said that it should have necessarily break it. I think that it makes it more fair because you're a medium attacker. But in some cases, you kind of outpace Welkin in terms of like, you know, survivability. Alright, so that's 1, right? I want to talk about 5 mechs. There's how many mechs on this game? There's 15 so far. And the next mech I would like to talk about personally is Panaka. Panaka is too strong. So let's take a look at the weaponry here. Panaka, I don't want to add it, but okay, whatever. So I never used Panaka, but well, not intentionally. Like I've been like I had to use it sometimes because like you know, I get kicked off of my mech. But so Panaka is a support mech. It's a medium support. And what does this do? Okay, so you can grapple your teammates and heal them physically. All right, that's nice. That's sweet even of somebody to do that. But what does the splitter do here? Alright, so the splitter shoots. I get it. It has little burst shots. It's doing a decent amount to the shield of this Tricera. Okay, you can heal people and give them a shield. You see this shield? I wish I could pause this. You see this shield? You see what character it's on? It's on Aleseness. Aleseness is super survivable, right? You just gave them a shield and you put a shield on top of them that can shoot. That's too much, man. Like, this is my thing. I don't mind the shield being on them, but the shield is too strong. Like, that shield should go off as soon as you get hit twice, in my opinion. Like, you should, like, they should be able to have some sort of protection, but currently right now, if you're playing as Panther, Stellaris, or a character that doesn't have like a lot of like strong attacks in general, like say Falcon, it takes too long to knock off that shield. While that shield is on them, they get completely healed. And when you completely heal Aleseness has like 3 life bars. You know, the shield should not have that much energy. It should be easily taken off. Let me go back to my character just really quickly. So I feel like out of all the things I've said so far, I think I've mentioned some things that sound unfair from the get-go, right? From 2 medium strikers. Okay, so this is my medium mech brawler or whatever, Panther. All right, so let's take a look at something that might be considered unfair with Panther. 2 things. Reinforced complex shield. The capacity is 26,000. That's pretty good. And it's good because if an enemy is behind you and shoots you, this is what allows you to brawl. This is what makes you able to brawl and take on a decent chunk of enemies. It allows you to, as you can see right here, tank melee attacks, even though melee is supposed to go straight to your health. And it's nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's nice. I don't think there should be like a huge adjustment to it if you make the adjustments I'm talking about. But if you're going to have Aleseness, which has 3 life bars, look, it's easy to take this off too, right? Aleseness that has 3 life bars and could potentially be being healed by Panaka. Yeah, no, fam. Like, I want to have 40,000 as the capacity if that's the case, you know? Because the life is already, we already have the same amount of life. I should have double or triple the shields if that's the case, you know? Booster kit. So I guess in the beta, the booster kit went from 5 to 3. And the reload time is 15 seconds. Okay. This is my humble opinion. Let's look at it. I need 75% of my shields back. If you're going to have Aleseness out here taking my shields off easily, I need to have, and my energy that I get back from using it. Hold on a second. Let me see something. Okay. No, they didn't use it yet. Okay. Your energy comes back when you use the booster. Half of it. I need all of it to come back. Like, that's my humble opinion. I need all of it to come back. If you're gonna keep my shield blade weak, how about this? Not even that. Don't change the boosters at all, right? Change the shields, right? And the shield blade, increase the damage. That shit should be 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. In my opinion. 10,000, 11,000, 12,000. Downward slash, 18,000. Give me the same damage Aleseness has. That's my opinion. Because, you know, I'm not doing anything better than Aleseness. Now let's take a look at Panaka again. Right? The reason why I showed you Panther and like how poor it is in contrast to these two is because look at Repair Drone. Let's see what Repair Drone does. So you just stick this in the air, and as long as your teammates fly by it, I guess, it goes to heal them. Oh man, and the more there are, the faster the heals are. So on top of like giving them a shield and healing, you can heal them with more devices. So it's almost impossible to kill them. And what's this? This is the radar? Oh no, this is good. I don't think there's anything wrong with this at all. This is the Tricera killer. Medium support, and I think a good support, you know, being able to, you know, drop one of these and like, drop like a barricade, that's good. I think it does a good amount of damage. I wouldn't even touch it. And what's this? Ah, okay. This is the shield that it gives itself. Look how much damage it's healing from over time. That's actually crazy to me. And like, this is another reason why Panaka is like getting a lot of MVPs too. Let's look at it. Well, I got this extra shield on. Too bad I'm healing myself, and I have other heals out there on the field because, odds are that's what's happening. Look at that, man. Look at that. Look at Falcon get healed. Still getting healed. The shield was gone, but the ring stayed on and it continued to heal. That is why it is so hard. There's so many ace fights, so many 3v3s I've done so far where like the fight has ended in like, a death match. You want to know why? Is because Panaka is out there. There's always one Panaka, and we had to kill the Panaka, but the Panaka is impossible to kill because it has a lot of energy. Let's take a look at that energy, as a matter of fact. How much energy does Panaka have? 37,000. That's crazy. I have 36,000. And I'm meant to be a brawler. This thing has the capacity to get around better than me. Energy regen ground, 7,200, minus 61. Energy regen air, 1,200. Crazy work. Crazy. Insane. Insane. Give me more energy regen. How about that? So that's the second one I want to talk about. I know these aren't the ones that you thought it might be, but we'll get to one of them. We'll get to Welkin. Hold on a second. Ah, man, I didn't want him on my striker list. I had to go and change that. So Welkin is pretty beefy, a lot of max HP. Let's take a look at the weaponry because I don't know how to compare the rest of that stuff just yet. Wow, Welkin does 10,000 with the first swing of his attack, 14,000 with the second, and 17,000 with the third. Let's look at this in real time, actually. This is against Aleseness. You know what it takes for me to do that as Panther? I need a full pin, and I need to hit him once, I think. Let's take a look at that. Real time. Let's take a look at that. Just so I'm not like lying or giving any misinformation. I like being fair. Let's look at the weaponry. Okay, Lance, how much damage do you do? Instant damage, 7,000. Charge damage, 30,700. I'm sorry, 30,700, 42,200. And that's the charge damage. I don't feel that half the time though. Let's see. Okay, that was good. That was a good pin. I'm not gonna lie. That makes sense. I do a good amount of damage. I won't even say anything about that, but that's something that you have to charge up, and it's linear, and it's harder to get. Like, you have to get somebody that's not aware more often than not, but Welkin, why Welkin is really good with it is because Welkin can do that damage in a combo, and he can keep people from moving because he has a lot of hit stun. That is why Welkin is very strong. Also, Welkin has his heavy howitzer. This does a decent amount of damage to shields. Oh my goodness, does it. Look at that. Bam. Very strong. I need to look at this regen too. Dueling force field. So you can keep enemies from moving with this force field, and you can trap them. Same thing. You can trap them in the force field, or you could just like not take any damage because it's a timed force field. You can corner them, keep them from moving, and do more damage than Panther ever could because you could just catch them and keep them from going anywhere. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, this jammer. that messes people up. They can't like see you or whatever. And it stops them from attacking. Yeah, ridiculous. Let's look at the defense field. Oh, wow. That's a beefy shield. That's beefier than I thought it was. Let's take a look at this striker really quickly. So, energy regen on ground is 10,000. This is a heavy mech, right? What was mine? Sorry, I don't know why I chose it like that. Energy regen on ground. The energy regen on a heavy mech is 4,000 more than Panther. Crazy. Mobility, ground speed 48, evade speed ground 170, evade speed, evade energy 1800. Okay. Oh my goodness, I need to stop that. Ground speed. All right, that's a good way to check. So, ground speed is slower. I'm just making sure the mobility isn't better, because then we're going to have a huge issue. You already get better energy regen. I don't like that. Okay. Just looking at the stats side by side. But Welkin, again, has like a lot of health. And a lot of health versus, I mean, with a healer like Panaka, that's a strong team. Like, this team is like almost unbeatable, it feels like, in a lot of scenarios. Where Panther is like moving around, trying to get healed, trying to move around, uses energy boosters. Like, the fact that I have to worry about that much more than everybody else is like concerning sometimes. But it's not just about Panther. I play with Solaris, I play with Narukami. You know, soon I'm gonna pick up Inferno and Falcon, I want to say. So, you know, it is what it is. What's another one? So I talked about Welkin, Panaka, Aleseness, and the last two I'm going to talk about are Stego and Tricera. What do you think I'm going to say about those two? Like, out of curiosity, like, I don't have any comparisons to make with the medium brawler and a light attacker, or like a light sniper. But, oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'll talk about Aquila too. Stego and Tricera are two stationary mechs. Oh my goodness gracious. They're two very stationary mechs. They're meant to sit still and to apply a lot of rapid fire pressure. The max HP of this bastard is 70,000. And the max HP of Stego is 78. I did not know Stego had more health than Tricera. That is insane to me. Fluid armor also has more fluid armor too. But I tell you what, the problem with Stego, this is my opinion, it does its job. There's nothing wrong with this attack power. I don't want to say anything about its attack power, but it can sit there and repair itself while it's sitting in this state with 70,000 HP. This thing has more than double the HP of any other mech in the medium class, right? And it's sitting there repairing itself while blocking everything. You can't even melee this. Like, I understand the concepts of having bad matchups in games, and I'm not going to sit here and act like that every matchup should be good for Panther, but I think that there should be certain checks and balances that keep characters like kind of not characters but mechs, characters, whatever, that keeps them like able to defend in some way and get away. Like, Tricera is supposed to be slow and like it's supposed to have a lot of armor, right? I should be able to fly away from it, but when I catch it off guard, I should catch it off guard and do a little bit of damage to it, you know? Like, even if it's a bad matchup, I should have some method of getting some damage off. But it doesn't seem like there's ever like a good time to get that damage off on Tricera, even if you do like a dropping attack, you know. And Tricera, like, honestly, what they need to do is they need to change like the capacity of the shield. 52,000, like, all right, so 52,000. How many of these do I have to? How many pins do I have to do to destroy this thing? Right, the shield alone, I had to do 2, and that's not even enough to destroy the health. Because the health, there's a lot of health in this thing. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm basically going to say the same thing about Stego. Like, there's not much different, except Stego has a lot of homing attacks, a lot of heavy firepower that can be really annoying. You know what I mean? It doesn't have as annoying of a shield, but destroying Stego is tough for any mech. And that is why Stego is one, like, to me, from what I've seen, is the most consistent #1, like, MVP now. Because it gets those kills, it gets healed. The healers heal too much. And I think the byproduct of that is it's making the heavier mechs really the best mechs in the game. Aquila. Where's Aquila at? Did I pass it? Here it is. Aquila. Let's talk about Aquila. Heading to B. So Aquila is insane, right? And the only reference I have for it is like Narukami. So it has about like 9,000 more health than Narukami, right? It should be easy to take down, but this mech flies in the air, and we're gonna take a look at the weaponry right now. Look at this. It is not only taking shield armor, it's taking HP. And what was the charge for that? Let's see how long it took to charge, because it takes Narukami a long time to charge. Wait. Oh, there was no charge, huh? You just sort of aim and shoot and you do more damage than Narukami. But you're a heavy sniper. I get it. That makes sense. But why does this even need to exist? Because you're killing everything out on the field. It's hard to get to you because you fly. Look at the airborne kit. Look at this. Separate gauge than the energy. Crazy. I didn't even realize this. It's a totally separate gauge from the energy. So you can keep dodging using a completely different gauge. That's crazy to me. And what is this? What? I did not know that this thing could do that. Well, it makes sense. That is crazy. What other sniper do we have? Because we have a medium sniper. I don't have Serenith. Serenith has less health. But I would love to see the weaponry. 4,000 damage. Let's look. But charge it up. Charge it up. Okay. It takes health and shield. Let's look at fully charged. So that's not the best, but it's not the worst either. And it looks like it pierces through shit. Oh yeah, it pierces through enemies. Serenith is cool. I honestly think Serenith should do a little bit more damage. But yeah, those are all the mechs I wanted to talk about today. Those are the top mechs I think need to be nerfed in some way. And just for review, let's go through it. I think Aleseness needs to be nerfed in terms of like the drop that it gets. It shouldn't automatically get it once it loses all its health. It should get it after 60 seconds of losing all its health and going to its lighter form. You shouldn't just be able to like give yourself 3 HPs. Like, you already got 34,000. That's insane. That is insane to me. Welkin. Honestly, did I even give anything for Welkin? Honestly, for Welkin, I would say nerf Welkin's shields. Like, his shield that he welcome shield that he puts in front of himself should not last as long as it does. It shouldn't be as potent as it is, and quite frankly, maybe I don't want to like I wouldn't say like I would take down his like striking ability, like how much damage he does. I think he should be slower. I think that there should be more of a tax on the engine. Like for having that much damage, you shouldn't be able to just keep swinging on enemies over and over and over. Like you should run out of energy really fast, and that would actually make it easier to pick them off for like somebody like Stellaris, Narukami, or Panther. You know, because again, I know I'm talking about mechs that I use, but if their job is to take out mechs, they're like low in health. I don't want to like wait behind a corner for 30 minutes while this thing is like healing, and then go, oh, my opportune moment. Like, no, I want to do some damage to it, push it away from someone, and make it easier to kill, tenderize it. You know? Okay, and Aquila. So for me, Aquila needs to use more energy as well. You're a heavy sniper, yet you're way in the air. It's really hard to take you down. Once you go down, you go back up immediately, and you do buku damage to everybody. For all the damage that you do, honestly, you should have less health. Like it's a heavy sniper, but the heavy sniper should be implied for how much damage it uses, not like how much health it has. Cut that fucking health down to like 29,000. And maybe we got something. Panaka. Reduce how fast the healing is, and also take away the barrier quicker. The barrier shouldn't be on that long. It shouldn't last more than 2 hits, in my opinion. And if you argue with that, I'm willing to go with, okay, it lasts more than 2 hits. Make the barrier like 5,000, and that's it. Because what is the barrier again? Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see how much this barrier is. That's damage. I'm not looking for damage. I'm looking for the emergency support. Repair rate, 4% per second. Nah, make that 2%. Force field capacity, 60,000. No, take that shit down to fucking 30. It should not be that much, man. You need to die. You know. Stego. Oh, goodness. I didn't want to do that. I was trying to avoid that. Stego and Tricera. I would say that their shields need to be lowered. Both of their shields need to be lowered. Their capacity is insane. You know, it's so hard to kill them, and they're doing a lot of damage to everybody. Like, I'm sorry. You have a lot of health already. You don't get to have a lot of shields, too. No, you gotta cut that. But that's where I'm going to end things on this video. I know it's a lot, but, like, I just had to express my feelings on this because I don't think it's been said enough, like, how strong these strikers are. Like, it encourages you not to play with certain ones. Like, Lumine? Why would you play with Lumine? Lumine is good. Lumine has, like, a lot of maneuverability, but you can play with Panaka instead. Why would you play with, Panther, right? You can play with Alesenus. They're both medium, and honestly, Alesenus seems to be stronger. So, yeah. Alright, that's the end. I'll catch you guys later. Let me know if you like the video.